Hello, I chose my article on benefits of music training for perception of emotional speech prosody in deaf children with cochlear implants. The research question was whether music training can improve hearing in children who are deaf and use cochlear implants to hear. The researchers hypothesized that music training would have direct benefits on tasks that are difficult for children with cochlear implants, including music perception and discrimination of emotion in speech. More and more children with congenital deafness are being provided with cochlear implants. A cochlear implant differs from a hearing aid in that it does not amplify sound and does not rely on a functioning middle or inner ear. Thompson et al. Found that musically trained adults performed better than musically untrained adults in the identification of emotion in semantically neutral speech. The perception of pitch is particularly impaired in adult cochlear implant users compared to normal hearing population. Many adults using cochlear implants report low levels of music appreciation after implantation. The perception of emotional prosody is impaired through cochlear implant. Children using cochlear implants perform similarly to normal hearing controls when identifying a target emotion using visual cues, but have shown difficulty when using only auditory cues. These difficulties may stem in part from difficulties with pitch processing. For example, children with cochlear implants would have a difficult time differentiating sadness and fear auditorily. Both emotions are negative, but the latter is characterized by higher pitch and greater pitch variability. "18 children using cochlear implants were randomly assigned to receive music training or art training for a period of 6 months. Participating families were told that the researchers were assessing whether music or art-based training would lead to various cognitive benefits, including auditory perception. The researchers tested children with the Montreal Battery for evaluation of musical abilities. It consists of 5 subtests that evaluate different elements of music perception: scale, contour, interval, rhythm, and incidental memory. This is the mean percent correct score for the music training group as a function of test session, pre, mid, and post training. Significant effects of time were found for contour, rhythm, and memory subtests. This is the mean percent correct scores for the art training group as a function of test session, pre, mid, and post training. No significant effects of time were found. This is the mean percent correct scores for the music and art training groups for emotional prosody perception with audio and visual presentation as a function of test session, pre, mid, and post training. As you can see, there's a significant difference between pre and mid in the music group. This is the mean percent correct scores for the music and art training groups for emotional prosody perception with audio-only presentation as a function of test session, pre, mid, and post-training. And as you can see, there's a significant difference between pre and post and mid and post in the music group. These were the results. Music training led to improved performance on tasks requiring the discrimination of melodic contour and rhythm, as well as incidental memory for melodies. These improvements were predominantly found from mid to post-training. Most importantly, music training improved emotional speech prosody perception. Music training was most advantageous in audio-only conditions, and art training did not lead to the same improvements. Some of the strengths were that these findings have important implications for auditory rehabilitation. Music training should be considered as a useful supplement to current methods of auditory and speech training in children using cochlear implants. The weaknesses were that the researchers encouraged students to practice twice a week, but did not track the amount of at-home practicing that took place in either music and art group. Also, it would have been valuable to include a long-term follow-up with the participants to determine whether the improvements are short-term or long-term. The conclusions were that the children who received music training experienced improvements in certain aspects of music perception and in perception of emotional speech prosody. There was no significant improvement for any of the outcome measures for the visual art training group. And music training can lead to improvements in perception of music and emotional speech prosody and may be an effective supplementary technique for supporting auditory rehabilitation following cochlear implantation. And that is the end of my presentation.